All right, welcome to this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a brand new rule that is basically going to shake up the entire 2026/27 English football season. We're looking at exactly how this upcoming IFAB trial tackles what has honestly become one of the modern game's most frustrating and widely criticized loopholes. Look, if you've tuned into a match recently, you know exactly the kind of tactical disruption we're talking about here. So let's kick things off with a question you were probably screaming at your TV last season. Why on earth did so many goalkeepers suddenly require urgent medical attention right at the exact moment the opposing team built up some massive momentum? It became this highly noticeable, kind of ridiculous trend, right? A team is under heavy pressure, the crowd is absolutely roaring, and then boom, the keeper goes down, the game stops, and that momentum completely killed dead in its tracks. Leeds boss Daniel Farke actually hit the nail on the head regarding this alleged tactical abuse. He directly accused Manchester City's Gianluigi Donnarumma of faking an injury specifically just to bend the rules and break up play. As Farke pointed out, teams try to bend the rules to their advantage, and you can even use a fake injury just to give your manager time for a sneaky extra team talk. Because, well, play absolutely has to stop for a potential goalkeeper injury, so going to ground effectively guarantees a free timeout for the coach to regroup the whole squad. And Gary Neville was just as cynical about this growing trend. He publicly claims that Eddie Howe used Lewis Hall to send a direct message, essentially instructing Aaron Ramsdale to go down and kill the flow of the game. For critics like Neville, it really highlighted just how systemic this strategy was becoming across the league. It wasn't just a string of bad luck or player fatigue, it was alleged to be a highly coordinated tactical instruction coming straight from the sidelines. Then you have Fabian Hertzler, who highlighted the sheer time-wasting absurdity of it all by calling out David Raya for taking 3 separate tactical timeouts in a single match. I mean, just think about that for a second. 3 times. In one Premier League game, a goalkeeper goes down requiring a stoppage. As Hertzler rightly asked, did you ever see that happen in the past? No way. Pundits and managers alike saw it as a glaringly obvious new tactic to just waste time and completely shatter the match's rhythm. Honestly, nothing illustrates how ridiculous it got, quite like this one specific game observers caught last season. A keeper goes down holding his left hamstring, right? Hand up, signaling he's in deep distress. But then the physio sprints onto the pitch and literally starts treating the keeper's right hamstring. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. It was a glaring exposure of the loophole. Players appeared to just be gaming the system to get tactical instructions out there. And frankly, incidents like this just poured fuel on the fire for fans demanding a change. So enter the 2026-27 IFAB solution. To combat all this nonsense next season, IFAB has introduced a fascinating new trial rule, rolling out across the Premier League, the EFL, the National League, and the WSL. The governing bodies clearly recognized they had to do something fast. Okay, so here's exactly how this new mechanism is going to work. Step 1. If the game is stopped for a goalkeeper injury, the manager is required to instantly nominate an outfield player to leave the pitch, right then and there. Step 2, that nominated player has to remain off the field for a minimum of 1 full minute after play restarts. That is a huge deal. Suddenly, there's a severe, tangible cost to stopping the game. Your team is forced to play a man down for a full 60 seconds while the ball is live. But look, obviously, real injuries do actually happen in football. Keepers put their bodies on the line constantly, so IFAB had to build in a few common sense protections so genuinely injured players aren't unfairly punished. So this rule comes with 3 highly specific exceptions. The 1-minute outfield penalty is totally waived if, first, a free kick is awarded for a foul on the goalkeeper and they immediately need treatment. Second, if the keeper and an outfield player collide and both of them need attention. Or third, if the goalkeeper is visibly bleeding. If you're bleeding, fair enough, you get an exception. But notice how all of these rely on obvious, visible incidents, not just some sudden, mysterious muscle cramp. Here's where it gets really interesting tactically. While this absolutely fixes the fake timeouts, it creates a brand new dilemma. Think about who managers are actually going to sacrifice for that 1 minute. It's sure as heck not going to be a defender, and probably not a central midfielder. Managers are going to lean heavily towards sacrificing their attacking players. Strikers and wingers are the ones getting pulled off, which means these attacking players are going to consistently lose crucial minutes and potentially miss out on vital goal-scoring opportunities every single time their keeper goes down. But wait, there is a massive complication looming over all of this. It's a simple, unavoidable fact. The referee is not a doctor. They're not a trained physio. Yet this rule suddenly drops an enormous amount of medical responsibility and subjective judgment squarely onto their shoulders. Picture this scenario. A keeper genuinely pulls a quad muscle, taking a routine goal kick. Because nobody touched them, those exceptions we just talked about, they completely go out the window. Now the ref has to make a highly subjective medical evaluation right there on the spot. Is the keeper faking it or not? Analysts are pointing out that a truly injured keeper might literally be forced to get up and hobble around just to avoid punishing their team. Imagine a keeper trying to push off a torn calf to make a save on a counterattack. It's a huge player safety risk. It could directly lead to conceded goals, and honestly, as if VAR wasn't enough, it creates an entirely new layer of subjective refereeing controversy. So we got to end our explainer today by asking you this. Will this drastic new rule finally save the natural flow of the sport and stop the endless tactical time wasting? Or is it just going to create a brand new officiating nightmare? It's a really bold move by IAB, but you know how it is. Players and coaches are probably already looking for the next loophole. Definitely think about how this is going to change the dynamic of those high-pressure final minutes. Thanks so much for joining me to break this all down, and definitely keep your eyes on the pitch to see exactly how this trial unfolds.